Well, good day. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your SPDR ETF stock market wrap-up for the last trading day of June 30th, 2025. All right. So, interesting times. We're dealing with, as you know, vote-a-rama right now, and that is where in the Senate anybody can bring up anything they want as an amendment. It gets voted on in a flash vote. It either makes it or doesn't, and this can go on and on and on. When they finally get done with it, we will see if they have a bill that will pass. And here's why. If some of these amendments get attached, you might lose some of the Republican senators that were on board and now they're not on board. Keeping this thing together is very, very difficult. The House of Representatives has been told by Michael Johnson, the Speaker, that they should be ready to be in the session on Wednesday. Now, that's the day before the 4th of July. That would be, 4th is Friday. We will see what's going to happen. I think he's told them to be in for the 3rd. So, yeah, that would be Thursday, actually. So we will see what they're all going to do or not do. He thinks it'll get through at that point, and they'll have to decide, can they deal with this or not, because they're trying to deliver for the president by the 4th an Independence Day gift, all right? I don't know if they're capable of doing it. Here's what I do know. They'll go into reconciliation because everybody's going to want to get out of town. If it's close enough, they'll get it done. If they're really that far apart, it won't. And that comes down to what it is. On the tariffs, the president lets out his little tidbits all day long. Japan, you're about to get a letter from us. A letter means they haven't done a deal right. And the president goes on, you're short of rice. We have plenty of rice and you won't take it. So you're hearing those things already. Canada, they're standing up to the U.S., lasted properly up until the last minute, and then they said, no digital tax, let's talk and get this gone. That Justin Trudeau, it's his fault. He's the one that brought that in, not me, Mark Carney. Done deal. President told negotiators, go back to work. So I'm giving you how this is all playing out. Then today we had Scott Bessent on, and he was on this morning, Bloomberg. He was on Bloomberg, and good interview, and he expects that they can have 10 deals done by the 9th. Now, he's been saying that for a long time. These got to be the 10 hardest deals. He says they're from our biggest trade partners. We'll see. I have my doubts about it. I know that you've got the Indian delegation. They were due to leave on Friday. They stayed today to do more work with the U.S. negotiators. I don't know where we're at. But you do realize, even when you get these 10, 12 big countries, what do you do with all the other ones? I guess what they're saying, because they're not being talked to, they're going to get just a letter from the president. You want to sell your products in the U.S.? This is your tariff. And that's how it's going to work. I don't know where Thailand is, Cambodia, other parts of Malaysia. I have no idea. But when I look at my clothing and see where different things are made, a lot of products are made in these countries. We will see what comes out of all that. The EU is in town. They're trying to do a deal. They certainly don't want to see those tariffs on all those beautiful Porsches, Mercedes, Range Rovers that come over to us. Don't know. They've got to show that they can do a deal. That's a very complicated deal because there's 27 countries. You can't break them out. It's got to be the bloc talking for all that's going on. So that's the tariffs, that's the tax bill. Then we get into other information because this is a week where you get an awful lot. Let's get to where we're at in the news right here. Okay. So you're going to get Redbook Group for weekly retail sales. They've been running 4.5% to 5.5% on average. S&P Global Group, they're going to come out with the final June manufacturing sector PMI, and that'll come out at 845. We get the ISM data after that coming out with their manufacturing sector index, and that will be at 9 o'clock. Then we're going to get construction spending for May, not for June, but for May. This is always far back. I don't know that it's that important. Here's what's real important, the JOLTS number. So this is your job opening and labor turnover survey. And this is the data for May, but the market, that's all that it's got to work with. So it tries to use that and start doing, how is the jobs report going to be that comes out right after that? And that'll be on Thursday. And we'll see. Last month was a surprise that we had that many job openings at 7.39 million. We'll see if the number can reach that, if it gets adjusted, or where we're at. No idea. But if it's like that, that is a strong number. That doesn't need the Fed's help for weak jobs. API number, they're going to come out with 3:30 in the afternoon and give us an idea of what the stocks look like. All right. You see I've got free offers here, and just remember, everything you're seeing from me, we do have free offers. You'll see the icon, take advantage. When we take a look at some of the markets, Uber gained another $1.77. You got hit today in Tesla, closing near the low of the day. You're still not moving AMC at all, so interesting that the summer movies aren't doing that any good. Uber, I have it in here. I was sure I changed that, but I didn't. Bank of America or Boeing. BA's Boeing, down $5. Why? It's down because they're trying to buy Spirit Technologies, and the UK has decided to look at it to see if it gets the approval. Now, we have a trade deal with the UK, so I don't think that's it. They're looking at something else more serious, but you've had a heck of a run-up. You've just come from the 180s, 190 area, all the way up here to the 210. The market can afford a little pullback. You're still very weak in the oil market. As we look at Amazon, I was looking today, Mr. Jassy was on, who is the head of Amazon, giving you all the good things they're doing. They're spending money like no tomorrow on AI. They're spending money on chips. Their own chip isn't yet there. They're still doing partnerships with NVIDIA. Netflix, I thought the next move could be, as you know, to 1350. And if it gets over 1350, I'll be talking 1400. When it's over, it's over. But that just stock is on a tear. Everybody's fearful that they're missing it. All the stock indices were strong today. No question about that. So what do I want to cover? I want to go back to Starbucks. We haven't talked Starbucks in a long period of time. We covered Dutch Brothers, but this is the big company. Now, they've got good things happening. Got a new CEO. He's a turnaround artist. Number two, maybe they're going to sell their Chinese business off. Do they really need it? Maybe they consolidate. Fewer items on the menu. Absolutely smart. And one of the goals is turnaround time. I hate going to Starbucks when you order your coffee and you got to wait 7 or 8 minutes. I don't have that kind of time. Nor do I go to Starbucks anymore, to be honest. I just find that between the tip and the price, I find it outrageous to pay that money for a cup of coffee. It just doesn't make sense to me. But it does to a hell of a lot of people. What can I say? All right. So as we look at the market in a pattern, you have a higher high, a lower low. I like that. I like that it's fighting a battle at the 18-day average of closes. The reason I like the higher high, lower low, it hasn't begun a trend trade yet. And I'm putting it up because I think it's getting ready to do one. What would set this market negative? Well, that's interesting too. Today's high, for example, was 94.16. Well, that certainly took out the 93.84 you had here. So even if you came down hard, you'd have a higher high and lower low. Well, that can't do it. If the market doesn't take out 33, this low, and starts up through this high, that could get bullish. Then you'd have higher lows, higher highs. But ideally, you don't take out today's high tomorrow if you're trying to set that up. Why did the market stop there? Take a look at the moving averages. You've got the 200-day in gray. You've got the green, the 100, that's what you went to, and you got the Bollinger Band. So what else is going on? You've taken the Bollinger Band and you're narrowing it in like that. So this whole move up is now going into the consolidation phase. Well, that's where you start looking at markets to get involved again. Obviously, if you didn't come in down here, you missed this part of the move. Now the question is there a secondary move? I can't answer that. I can tell you I think it's trying to set one up. It's also gotten itself where the momentum is down. So on the close, you closed under the 18-day average at 91.63. The bias is down. You're void of a trend. If it fell hard, I wouldn't look for it much under the 87.77 level, which is the lower Bollinger Band, and it can get oversold rather fast. It's not yet ready for the trade, but it's something to watch. When MP lost its bullish embedded reading right here, I thought you'd make a run to the 18-day average. So that's 3170. You got to 3200 today, and you lost that average back up here about $1 ago. So you're making your way down there. It could still get there. The odds favor price in that number will hit before you break through that high. That doesn't mean I'm right. I said it's what the odds are, and I believe the odds are strong for that. Then I had one of you write me, one of my subscribers, Gary, wrote, and he wanted me to cover Dash. And I haven't done this, and I don't know if I ever covered Dash, to be honest. So I started looking at it, and I said, here you go with the classic case of an embedded slow stochastic. Now, if you've taken my course on this, what happens with the slow stochastics when they embed with the Bollinger Band? I called it the Enhanced Bollinger Band course, because what the market often does is it locks in on a Bollinger Band, and the breaks become shallower and shallower until the red line decides to close under 79. How high it can go? The sky's the limit. Don't know. You'd have to go use price counts and some of our other work and weekly charts to see that. But on the daily, it's very strong. Google, I'm not looking for much more than this. You're attacking the upper Bollinger Band and you're already overbought. In addition, you have a pattern that's been go up to the upper band, break down to the lower band, come up to the upper band. So you're just doing one of these waves, and the market's gone for a real point, most of the time spending it at the 18-day average, which is about halfway of that whole thing. Here you go again with the Gorilla Glue trade. Market latches on. Now it's trying to force this slow stochastic to embed. As it does, so we'll see what happens. Now, how many days do you have over the Bollinger Band? I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're right at the end where the market should move to the inside of the Bollinger Band. It doesn't have to break. It can be close to unchanged. It can be slightly lower and do that. This band is going to move up tomorrow. It's the nature of how the algorithm is built. And the question is, can we get an embedded reading out of it? Robinhood went bye-bye Miss American Pie. It likes the tax bill. It likes the cryptos are getting a lot of play. Stable coins are getting mentioned again. It's in all these businesses, and it's got an exploding business that it's developing in Europe now. Embedded reading, you come up, you'll come back into that band. The band will be higher, but you'll come back into it. It's just a question of when and where. And again, is there any reason to be short when you have an embedded reading? You may not be long, but you know not to be short. And that, to me, is so important, because the key is you may not get the setups you want to make a trade. That happens often. But making a bad trade when you've got the most powerful bullish tool like that, or if it was embedded like it was here, one of the most bearish tools until that's lost. And when it's lost, you get typically a rally. When this bullish reading is lost, you'll get typically a break. This isn't the spot that I see that I'd be telling my clients, hey, I think you should go and just jump in blindly. In Tesla, okay, you know, you're hearing so much. There are arguments, what is Tesla? Is it a car company? Is it AI? Is it robotics? What is the company going to be? Well, they're predicting that not far down the year, you know, their autonomous driving is going to be one of the main values of Tesla, because you've got all these Tesla cars on the road they can use. There's still no word that they want to go with Uber. They're still determined at this point in the development to do it on their own. I predict they'll go with Uber at the end. Why wouldn't you? You got nothing to lose. Other than you give up a little game, and everybody's got Uber. Not everybody has Tesla on their phone. And that redoing the wheel, I don't know if it's the smartest thing. They'll have to make it a wheel that I haven't seen and then prove it to me it's good. Semiconductors, the leader. I mean, there are leaders now, you know. Industrials have come alive. Financial markets have come alive. You look at where the leaders are. This is a leader in the market. XLF, the financial sector, one of the leaders in the market, overbought, trying to come out of this sideways action, just trying to break out of it. The industrial sector, just coming out of this section here. Can it hold it and run to the upside? You have two of those sections now in the daily charts that are coming out of sideways Bollinger Bands trying to run. And if they can they embed and run even further? That's the big question. On the energy sector, I'm still in the bear camp. I see lower highs, basically lower lows, but it is oversold. You'd have to negate the downtrend, get back over 85.92, and you'd be fighting then at the 100-day average, the 18. We'll see if it can do anything there. In the gold market, I think the shorts covered on Friday. I said that, and I still believe it. You hit a Bollinger Band, you're oversold. Time to come out, especially sideways action in the market. In the silver market, silver's got a correction going on in momentum. It's hanging in here right at the 18-day average. The question is, can the market pick up and run here? What I like better than silver is I like the silver miners. I happen to think they're looking good. In copper, it's still the squeeze play. You're not playing the demand from copper as much as you are for that. For those of you that get my newsletter, I cover tonight the port traffic in China since Trump and Xi got together and at least buried a hatchet where there's supposedly a lot going on, and the traffic is picked up. You'll be surprised. It's pretty solid. But the factory gate, their PMI, not picking up slightly. It went up 0.2 of a point. It's still under a 50 level. It is still in a contraction phase. In BND, the market is building in the Fed move. It's right in front of you. It is saying the Fed is going to cut interest rates. I cannot give you the date. I cannot give you the time of the day, but the market is giving you that build. Oh, let me come back here. You had a bullish crossover today. The 18-day average got over the 100, and you want to see all these come together, and the 18 stay over the 100, get over the 2, and then the 100 over time. Could be later summer. Get over the 200, and at that point, if you get that, you start looking up here. This market will be moving away on you. That would mean the Fed is cutting its interest rates or about to cut them, and the market's anticipating. Do we generally get ahead of ourselves on the first move? We do. You can see you've got the embedded reading, though. Good breaks will be bought in between these levels until that red line closes under 79, in my opinion. In UUP, I've already on record how bearish I still am. There'll be a time where I don't want to be bearish. It's not yet, not here.